Welcome. This is Jane Gardner, and welcome again to Solopreneur Success Strategies. And today is World Domination Wednesday, where we talk about you and your customer. And today we'll be talking about is this your customer? Anyway, that's the riddle for you today. Welcome. I'm Jane Gardner, and I work with my husband in Western Canada in our structural engineering firm. We've been in business for over 20 years. So I came out onto the internet about 3 years ago to talk to people about starting their own business. So let's get started on World Domination Wednesday. World Domination Wednesday is about your customer. It's about knowing how to define what your customer wants. Give your customer what they want. Keep those customers and keep growing your business with more customers. It's all about your customer and being your world and their world together. So today we're going to be talking about who are your customers. Well, everyone is not your customer, but today we're going to be talking about how to maybe detect what your buying style is of a customer in order to have a better relationship with them. So let's get started. So we looked at previously, your customers are those who want your solution to their problem, or they want your solution to fulfill their desire. And we talked about if you go to my jgtips.com/YouTube and look for the World Domination Wednesday episodes, you will see previous discussions on what your customer wants and finding out what your customer wants and finding out who your ideal customer is. And I have a course at jgtips.com/customer profile where we get 6 days of training to learn about your business, how to define your ideal customer, how to use your research to craft your message to attract your ideal customer, and then how to use tracking tools to measure your success in your marketing. So that's 6 days of training with worksheets and research for you to develop your ideal customer profile. Now, there are 3.3 billion internet users online today. So of those people, you should be able to attract those who want your business. So we've had a look at previously who is your customer. You know who your ideal customers are because you've done the research. You know what they want that you can give them because you've done your research. You know where to find your ideal customers because you've done your research. And you know when and how they like to buy because you've done your customer research. And we also looked at what is the ideal customer experience in order for you to have an ideal experience that a customer wants to come back and see you again and again. So you now know how to provide some of the features of an ideal customer experience. And for those who missed those episodes, you can catch up on them on jgtips.com/YouTube. As well, I have a course on the ideal customer ideal customer at experience. What is it? Sorry, create an ideal customer experience at jgtips.com/experience. What is the customer's experience or journey through your business? Map your current customer's experience, look at the key elements, and then map an ideal customer experience going through your business, which includes customer service and follow-up, etc. Identify and prevent potential breakdown points and create a new customer experience map. So that's at jgtips.com/experience if you want to have more, another look at that. But for now, let's go and continue on with customers. So now we're ready to convert prospects into customers. We've looked at all our research. We've looked at the demographics, the psychographics. We've looked in media to see what research tells us about our ideal customer, as well as we've looked at some of the information on social media for purchasing behavior, when they buy, what's their strategy, what are they looking for, and what are they using currently, who are the competitors, and how can you differentiate yourself from them. So we've been having quite an extensive study on how to sell to customers and how to find out who is your customer. And last week we discussed that it is possible for a mother with children, a mature woman, ready to retire, and a woman who is on the phone at someone else's business hoping also, like them, to have their own business. They may have different reasons for having our business in terms of revenue, but let's just say they all wanted to have a small business. So they may be all your customers. Even though they're all different demographics and different age groups, they can still be your customer. So even though we look for our ideal customer, the ideal customer will be the one who is easiest to sell to and convert, but you can still have other people who are your customers. It depends on your product or service, of course, but there's also a secret to understanding whether a prospect can be your customer and whether you can get a prospect to be your customer. I am an associate at CRG Consulting Resource Group. They have a personality development factors model where I'm sure you've heard about the 4 different features of our personality. And in the Consulting Resource Group philosophy, well, we are born with certain personal styles. And then, of course, we have all our life experiences develop us into our personality. And all of this will affect how you buy and how you sell, and of course, how you interact with other people. So the personality development factors model has the idea that you are born with certain personal style preferences. You're either an action taker, or you like to do research, or you're very expressive, or you're very willing to be compassionate, to simplify it anyway. And then, of course, you have all your life experiences as you grow up, whether it's your social teachers or your emotional anchors, your experiences during life, your spiritual or your self-worth levels, or the environment and how it affects you and your health, etc. Well, from that, you can understand that according to the personality development factors model, each person has these 4 personal style factors in them: the behavioral action, the interpersonal harmony, cognitive analysis, and effective expressive. But of course, we all have different levels of each, with all our life experiences also affecting us to make up our personality. However, there are traits to the 4 personal styles which can be detected with knowledge and experience, such that you can adapt to another person's personal style for a better relationship. So how's this got to do with selling and buying? Well, it also affects how you interact with other people. So of course, it's how you're selling. So it'll affect your selling style because it'll be affected by your personality, as well as their personality will be affected when they buy. Now, there is a certain way for the customer-focused selling process, of course. First, you connect, you have a reception. The customer meets you and your business at a certain level. They discover more about you and your business. They confirm that you are going to satisfy the needs that they have. You also can, of course, do more presentations to confirm even further that you are the one they need. And then, of course, they purchase and confirm that they want what you are selling. And then, most importantly, of course, as a seller, you follow up with them, and that will keep them into a close relationship with you. Well, working with customers, your personal way of viewing the environment around you and reacting to it is the foundation for your sales style. So your sales style is unique from others. However, you can adapt and shift your sales or buying style to match your clients, which builds credibility and trust with them. So I know this is somewhat a simplified way of saying it. Let's see. So ask yourself, what are the characteristics of those customers that you find easiest to work with? And what are the characteristics of those customers that are most difficult to work with? For example, I am a fairly quiet person, and I am out here on the internet doing my best to bring myself forward. And I find that people who are like very loud and who are very demanding and focused in their demands and know what they want and aren't very good listeners, I find a withdrawal from them. So, for example, that would be I have a different style from that person, so I am withdrawing from that person. However, if I know what the various styles of people are, then I can adapt and work with that person by understanding that they have a different style and I need to adapt to it. So here's a quiz for you. Working with a customer, have you ever known a customer like this? For example, they get upset when you are too focused on closing the sale. When you're talking all about your product and you're not, interacting with them, and they get upset when you're not interested in them personally. So they wonder why all you're doing is talking about the sales, and when you haven't even asked anything about them or even where they live. For example, they get quite upset that you haven't recognized them as a person, for example. And then, do you know this customer when you've been dealing with customers? It's a customer who doesn't want you to interrupt them when they are speaking. They know what they want. They want you to give them detailed information or specifications when they are looking for a product. So they don't want to talk in generalities. They just want to make sure that they get what they want as quickly as they can because they know what they want. And also they hate being interrupted. Do you know this customer? This customer wants you to help them with the decision. They want you to be kind and thoughtful to them, even though you're basically strangers, but they still want you to respect them, and they want you to ask how you're doing, or recognize that their child's there with them, or they want you to help them a lot with the decision in terms of giving them feedback on their decisions and whether or not it's a good decision, etc. Or do you recognize this customer? The customer wants you to summarize the facts and lay out the big picture rather than giving you all the details and specifications on the project. So they want to know what the outcome is. They want to know the why of it. They want you just to summarize the facts. And especially they want you to respect their judgment. They want basically respect for who they are. Well, there are 4 different buying styles, and of course there's different variations of each, obviously, of which each of us have one more dominant in our personality than someone else. And by looking at how someone is interacting with you, so that requires listening, and that requires paying attention, and that requires knowing obviously some information about buying styles before you can detect a person's buying style, and then you can be more successful as a salesperson because you shift your selling style to match the buying style of that person. So this is what the theory is all about. Obviously there's more involved with it than just saying there's 4 different types. There's certainly, I think there's 22 variations of personal style. But this is one of the things you have to think about when you are selling. And then the question becomes, even if you aren't on a phone with someone, or you're not in a group talking to someone, even when you are just have a product which people will buy, are you willing to create a product with at least 4 variations so that there are more people attracted to your product? So, for example, if you have someone who likes to buy and wants to know all the details and specifications, well, of course, on your product page, have all the details and specifications in one tab. In another tab, tell them what the benefits are with the product and how it will change their life, or how it respects their knowledge of the product and respects them. And then, of course, you can also have a video for those who like watching information, and then also audio recording for those who might want to listen to the information on their own at a own time. So there's quite a bit of information here, and obviously it's a lot to take in. So that's why I have a course called You and Your Sales Style at jgtips.com/p-style. In that course, we get you to do a personal sales style assessment, and I'll actually give you also a personal style assessment to do, just so that you can also relate it to your family. And we look at customer focused selling. Then we look at establishing how to make them willing and ready to understand who you are and what your product is and your service is. And then understand how credibility works with them, so that you can adapt and create a atmosphere in your business where you can increase your credibility, which increases, of course, your know, like, and trust factor. And then we identify your preferred selling style, and so that you're aware of that, and then determine what the various customer buying styles are, and then create an action plan so that you can adapt to any customer who might come along by being able to detect who they are, and then shifting your own selling style to be more amenable to their buying style. So that's at jgtips.com/pstyle. So that's me. I know that's a lot of information, and I just wanted to say that knowing my personal style has been one of the most important highlights of my life, because it recognized who I was. I understood what my issues were with my personal style, as well as I know what the strengths of my personal style is, so I can have better relationships with my family and friends, and with customers, and with everyone else as well. So if you're interested, go to jgtips.com/p-style to have a look at the program. As well, of course, you can look at some of the previous shows at jgtips.com/YouTube. Thank you for listening. This is Jane Gardner.